want to talk about today is breath mechanics. This is something that I think is often overlooked and is a really big, important part of not only working out, but life in general. So specifically, we're going to talk about an idea of diaphragmatic breathing. You've probably heard of this. This is one of the terms I think is thrown around a lot, but people don't take the time to define what that means for them. And so that's what we're going to do here. So diaphragmatic breathing is the diaphragm is a muscle that sits horizontal. It connects up to the front of my kind of lower chest here, and then goes across above my stomach in my abdominal cavity, all the way and connects to the back of my body here. And what it's doing is when I'm taking a big deep breath in, especially if I'm doing a diaphragmatic breath or a breath kind of down into the lower part of my lungs, what that's going to do is the muscle is going to pull down, contract, create that tension, and it's going to allow the lungs to fill up with air. And then as I exhale, it's going to do the opposite. It's going to help to contract. And I meant to say expand earlier. Now it's going to contract and force that air out, help to force that air out. So I think it's helpful to kind of consider from a 30,000 foot view a little bit of the anatomy of the lungs. So we have 5 lobes to our lungs. We have 2 on the left side. So we have our heart, and then we have the 2 lobes that sit above that. And then we have 3 on the right side. So there's a little bit of a lower one on this right side. So when we're breathing, oftentimes not thinking about it, it's really easy to fall into the habit of chest breathing. And this is this kind of, sometimes you see it as more of like a anxious breathing. It doesn't necessarily have to be fast like I'm doing. It's just an easier way to make it obvious. But if I'm just breathing kind of up into my chest and using a lot of these like neck muscles and stuff to get myself to breathe, I'm really only using these top lobes of the lungs, and this is not going to use my diaphragm and force those lower lobes of the lungs to pull in air. And this is not the type of breathing I want to do for a workout. It's pretty inefficient, and it can kind of jack my heart rate up and put me into kind of a stress physiology independent of the workout by itself. So what we want to try to do as best we can is teach our body and just have some awareness on the breathing kind of, again, into the lower lungs. Some people describe it as into your belly, which I think is a great way of thinking about it. So we're trying to get some movement in our belly, especially on the inhale, and then you see it come back on the exhale. I'll show you a couple more here. Now, it's okay to have movement in your chest. We just don't want it to be exclusively in the chest. Oftentimes, I think about trying to get my belly to move out in all directions first, and then allowing my chest to follow. So let's try this really quick. Put your hands on your belly, on kind of the sides of your body. So your thumbs are on the back, hands are in the front. Take a big breath in and try to push your hands out. Push your fingers away from each other in all directions. It's kind of difficult, especially on the back side, especially if you haven't done this before. And then on the inhale, you want to do on the exhale, you want to do the opposite. We should feel the fingers kind of coming back together. One more time. Awesome. All right, well, I hope that's helpful. We'll try to start to incorporate that in your workouts and throughout your day. And until next time, good luck.